Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to learn about the mechanical advantage of a pulley. We're going to learn two things. We're going to learn the two types of mechanical advantage, and number two, how to calculate the mechanical advantage of a pulley. By the way, this is mechanical advantage in Thai. So let's start with these two men. They're trying to pull a load which is 600 newtons each. We know that it's going to be very hard to pull with the pulley number one, but it will be easier to lift with pulley number two. Why is that? Because pulley number one is going to multiply your force by just 1, but pulley number two will multiply your force by 3. So it's easier to lift. Now these numbers, 3 and 1, are called mechanical advantage. And how do we find that? Now there are actually two types of mechanical advantage. The first one is called the ideal mechanical advantage, or the IMA. And this is how much the machine is going to multiply our force when there is no friction. This is multiply in Thai. And here is a formula to find our IMA. Now, if you look at this picture, let's say you're going to pull the rope up by a distance. We call that the input distance, or ID. And the load is going to rise up by a distance we call the output distance. The IMA is just the input distance divided by the output distance. Example, let's say you pull the rope up 40 centimeters and the load rolls up 10 centimeters. What is the ideal mechanical advantage? That is going to be 40 centimeters over 10 centimeters, which is 4. Number two is the actual mechanical advantage, and this is how much the machine will multiply our force when there is friction. And to find that, let's imagine we're going to pull the rope up with a force. We call that the input force. And the load also has a weight. Okay, we call that the output force. The AMA is equal to the output force, or the weight, divided by the input force, how much we pulled. Example, let's say you pulled the rope with a force of 100 newtons to lift a load of 380 newtons. How much is the actual mechanical advantage? This is going to be the output force divided by the input force, which is 3.8. Now, the ideal mechanical advantage of any machine is always greater than the actual mechanical advantage, like in this example we saw. Why is that? This is because the IMA is just how much we expect the machine to multiply our force. This is expect. Okay, we only expect that. And we find it by not thinking about friction. But the AMA is the real thing. We know it when we use the machine, and usually machines will have friction. So the AMA is always less than the IMA. Now there is an easy way to find the IMA by counting the number of lines which are supporting the load. Okay, support in Thai. So let's look at this example number 1. How many lines are supporting the load? They are helping to hold the load. There are 2 lines. Okay, this line here is helping to lift the load up. It's helping to support, but the line that we are holding is not. So there's only one line which is supporting the load. So the IMA will be equal to 1. We just count that. Number 2, how many lines do you think are supporting this load? We have 1, 2, 3. What about the 4th line? The one we are holding. Is it supporting the load? It is not. Can you see it's going opposite to the direction of the load? It is not supporting the load. So the IMA will be 3. And the last one, can you try that? 1, 2, 3. What about the 4th one? Is it supporting the load? It is also supporting the load because you're lifting it and the load is going the same direction with the direction of what? The rope. So the IMA is going to be equal to 4. Now let's try some examples here. Mr. Jones lifted a load of 100 newtons to rise up a distance of 0.2 meters. How much distance did he pull the rope? How much did he pull the rope? Now we can find the distance by using the formula. IMA is equal to the input distance over the output distance. What is the IMA from the question? We don't know, but we can count it from the picture. How many ropes are supporting the load? 1, 2, only 2. The 3rd one we are pulling is not supporting the load, so the IMA will be 2. What about the output distance? We already know, 0.2 meters. So here we go. If you put in the numbers, we're going to have this. And the input distance will be 2 times 0.2, which is going to be 0.4 meters or 40 centimeters. It means we pull the rope 40 centimeters. Okay. Number 2, if he used 100 newtons to lift the load, what is the AMA, the actual mechanical advantage of the machine? AMA is what? The output force, which is what? The load or the weight of the load, 100 newtons, divided by the input force, the force we used. So the actual mechanical advantage is going to be 100 over 100, which is just 1. Okay, you see that the IMA was 2, but the AMA is 1. Now, I want you to work together with another student and try to answer these 6 questions on your worksheet. Thank you very much. I hope this is helpful.